the air?
Do I have everybody's attention now? Do I have everybody's attention now?
John, I got you.
John, do I have everybody's
Sunday
attention
night.
now?
You put them cameras on me, then you must be willing to get that heart touch. This a must-see feeling. The news ain't good, then it must be villain. So I say a tag grounded, I don't trust these ceilings. Spread across your nose, and I'm on your ear. Highest necks on the cloud, hammer in the air. Sunday nights, prime time. I flex mine better. Voltron transform to DX Don Mega. And off scene, you probably think I'm nice, cause I flow like a stream to your wireless device. And the smoke full of steam on any given night. I'll short like a piece of any given slice. And for the latest and what is best about, I tune in and tune the rest out, Don. You gotta tell them, am I in the clear? Is this thing on? Am I on the air? On the air?
Well, what is going down, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new edition. Yes, we're back once again for another brand new episode before 2020. It is season 19. It's episode 12 of Am I on the Air? Tonight's show is titled Uncut. So, I am your host, Don Mega, and I welcome you to the show. Now, if you listened to last week's episode, I told you we might not have an episode the following week, and that I might not even be returning until 2020. Well, I decided against it. I decided to do one more episode for you guys this year, getting you caught up in the latest and greatest in entertainment news. Now, the funny thing is there's not a lot of news at all. It is, of course, our last episode we recorded was on Christmas. I dropped it on Christmas Day. If you guys listen to it, you know I recorded it at 2 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day. Because once again, that's how devoted I am to you guys. But I'm back. It is Monday. It is December 30th. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. And then we put 2019 to rest. And yes, there's not a lot of news. Because ever since Christmas, everything's been dead. Couple things here and there. So we're not going to have a ton of news to get through. But I did see a couple movies at the theater, and I am binging a couple things on Netflix, and I thought, you know what? Just for the reviews, let's get a new episode out. Why not? Doesn't hurt, it's not going to hurt nobody, right? So it gives you all something new to listen to. When everything else on television is in rerun season right now, I will not be a rerun, and I will bring you a new episode right here. So, tonight we're going to do some non-spoiler reviews of Adam Sandler's Uncut Gems. We're going to talk Spies In Disguise. And then, like I said, a couple other new releases that just came out that I'm also checking out at home. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into it and talk Uncut Gems. So this was alright, I'll just jump into it. Uncut Gems. So this movie was in limited release over the last couple weeks. And on Christmas Day, it finally expanded into a full rollout. This is from the movie studio A24, which a lot of people just always assume greatness when you see A24 locked onto it. I mean, it's one of those movie studios that I think people feel confident in when they see that logo flash. This is an Adam Sandler movie, but it's not your typical Adam Sandler movie. This is not a Happy Madison production. This is not a movie on Netflix. This is serious Adam Sandler. This is Punch Drunk Love Adam Sandler. This is Reign Over Me Adam Sandler. This is Spanglish Adam Sandler, which is hit and miss with me. I mean, he does great. Just some of those movies are hit and miss for me. I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. Unapologetic. I love most of what he does. He's lost me a little bit in these Netflix years, but when he was theatrical, I loved them all, except for Jack and Jill. And, so he's been pretty much in this Netflix rut for the last several years. But now he does this movie, and it's looking to be A24's biggest release that they've ever had. That's saying something. It shows the true power still of Adam Sandler when he's in the right project and when he's doing the right things. This is one of those movies that's very fast talking. There's a lot going on. Adam Sandler plays this gem dealer who is in New York City, and he's very fast talking. He's always pulling scams. He's addicted to gambling. He's always betting money he doesn't have, trying to, collect money in one hand to pay off the other hand. And the movie is something, man. It had my anxiety level through the roof because I'm just like, oh my god, what's going on? Is he gonna get killed? Is he gonna get beat up? Is he gonna lose his wife? Is he gonna lose his house? What's gonna happen to his kids? I mean, there's so much going on in this movie that just had me being like, oh my god. And a lot of it is this fast talking dialogue between him and, like, say the bookie, or him and somebody else that's trying to collect money, and they're just yelling at each other and they're talking over each other, and sometimes it was too much to where I was just like, shut the fuck up. But it was also super intriguing. It was so intriguing that I couldn't look away, and I was so interested to know how this movie was going to end. And boy, does it end on a crazy note. At the end of the day, this was a fantastic movie. I know a lot of people are throwing out maybe, a possible Oscar nomination or something for Adam Sandler coming out of this movie. I don't know if I would go as far as say Oscar. He's great in it. I don't know if I would go that far. But the movie is fantastic, and I would love to sit down and watch it again, just because I felt like there was so much always going on that I probably missed some stuff. But yeah, watch the trailer. If you find the trailer even remotely intriguing, I do think you'll dig the movie. It's pretty much the trailer over 2 hours. But if you watch it and you're just kind of like, it looks boring, then don't waste your time with it. But I had a great time with Uncut Gems, so I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really dug that one. Okay, switching gears to a totally different kind of movie. Real quick, I want to go into Spies in Disguise. So this was a movie, this is an animated movie with Will Smith and Tom Holland, where basically Will Smith plays this James Bond kind of spy, who needs to get into some place to catch a thief and to catch some of the criminals, and he becomes a pigeon. You've seen it in the trailer. Tom Holland is kind of like the geeky scientist kind of guy who comes up with this new cocktail that you drink and you basically turn into a pigeon. Yes, because you know what? Criminals don't notice birds. So it's the easiest way to get in and out. And it's a weird ass premise, but it was a pretty fun movie. This is a movie that my daughter, ever since we saw the trailer the first time, was all about. She was just like, when can we go see this movie? I want to see this movie. And the unfortunate thing that the studio did to me is they released a trailer for this movie like a year ago and then said Christmas 2019. So we've been waiting month after month after month and through 3 or 4 trailers to finally watch this damn movie. But I took my daughter to see it on Christmas Day, on opening day, and she absolutely loved it. And, like I said, she was just so excited to see this movie. And, yeah, I mean, I expected it to be a little bit better than it really was. I dug the trailers. I thought it looked really cute. I was like, this is one of those kid movies that I was like, I don't mind taking you to the movies to see this. But, and it was still good. I thought it would be a little bit better than what it turned out to be. Now, my daughter, of course, gave it 5 out of 5 stars because, if she likes a movie at all, it gets a 5 out of 5. But for me, I would put this movie right around a 3. I would probably do a 3 out of 5. And that's mainly just due to the chemistry and the comedic chops between Will Smith really diving into this character. And Tom Holland, man, really shining as the little tech whiz. So, yeah, there you go. 3 out of 5 for Spies in Disguise. And going back to Uncut Gems, like I said, 4 out of 5 for that one. So over the weekend, I checked out another new movie that I hadn't seen before, and it was called Jexi. Jexi came out in theaters literally like 2 months ago. I think it came out in October. And that's how fast this movie came and went. Jexi was a movie with Adam Devine. Basically buys a new phone, and the operating system is voiced by Rose Byrne, and the operating system on his phone talks a lot of shit. It completely talks a lot of shit and pretty much ruins his life there for a minute. I wanted to see this in theaters, and I think it lasted literally a week. So there was something else that came out that same week it came out, and we saw that movie, and then by the time the next week rolled around and we were going to watch Jexi, it was already gone. This movie came and went so fast. So it came out on digital, and it was on sale for $10 in 4K, and I just went on a whim and bought it. I was like, you know what? It looked funny. Let's watch it. So we watched it over the weekend, and it's fun, man. It was a funny movie. It's very, very silly. It's very over the top. But I love movies like that. I just want to kick back. I just want to laugh. The movie's like an hour and 24 minutes, and it's worth it. It is funny. It's funny to hear the phone talk shit to him, call him all kinds of names, and just basically, could you imagine your phone, like if you, have Bixby or you have Siri, or like an Alexa, just talking shit to you all the time, man. No matter what he does, it just keeps egging you on. It was really, really funny. There's a good supporting cast in this, and it's just a fun time at home. So it's nothing great. I'm not going to say find a way to watch this movie ASAP. But if you come across it, give it a chance. I think you'll get a couple good laughs out of it. So Jexi, I would give like a 3 out of 5 as well. I thought it was good, and I enjoyed my time with it. I didn't regret buying it. Let's just say that. So on last week's show, I talked about that I started getting into the Netflix show Raising Dion. And I am about 7 episodes in right now. I think it's 9 or 10. And I'm about 7 episodes in, and I'm just absolutely loving this show right now. I was very so-so on it for the first couple episodes. My wife actually didn't really like it at all. She watched like the first 4 and then kind of was like, I'm out. But I continued to get through it. And as the episodes go on, the show is getting better and better and better. And I can't, I don't want to spoil anything, but all I'm going to say is, watch it. If you like superpowers and you like kind of that comic booky kind of world, this is about a little kid with powers, but there's a bigger story around it. There's more people that have powers, and I find it very, very intriguing. So just wanted to shout that out once again now that I'm pretty much all the way through it. Check out Raising Dion on Netflix. Now, speaking of Netflix, there's one other thing I want to shout out. My wife over the weekend said, hey, there's this documentary called Don't Fuck With Cats. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, somebody at work told me to check this thing out. So I search it and I find it. It's a 3-part documentary about this, I don't even want to call him a serial killer, but an internet killer who starts out murdering cats. And then eventually finds his way into murdering a human being. And this is the internet search, because this guy is posting videos on YouTube and on different websites. And it's about these group of people that watched the videos and looked for clues and kind of tracked him down and figured out who he was, and tried to, try to catch him. It is super intriguing. Like I said, it's only 3 parts, so it's about 3 hours. They're an hour a piece. I had never heard of the true story of this thing, but it left me very, very intrigued to go search this true story and find out more. All I can do is sit here on this show and recommend. When I see something new that I think is worth shouting out, I'm going to tell you guys about it, and I think you should check out the documentary Don't Fuck With Cats, Hunting an Internet Serial Killer. So check that out. Okay, so that is, I think, the extent of my shout-outs that I wanted to do. And now we'll get through whatever kind of tedious news that we have over the last 5 days or so. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, continues to climb up the box office. It has crossed the $700 million mark already in just a couple weeks. The funny thing is it opened way below The Last Jedi. But at this point, 2 weeks later, it is already caught up to The Last Jedi and looks that it might even exceed it. So congratulations to Rise of Skywalker that is just continuing to go and go and go. The funny thing is the actor Ian McDormand, who plays Palpatine, he said George Lucas told him that Palpatine was 100% dead in his storylines for Star Wars. So obviously this just goes to show that, J.J. Abrams and the people involved are doing their own thing here. They're not really going off of the George Lucas side anymore. This Friday is finally the long-awaited Hawaii Five-0 / Magnum PI crossover. That's right. I don't know if any of you watch these shows, but I am a very big fan of Hawaii Five-0. I dabble in Magnum here and there whenever I have the time. And one of the biggest things I've always said is these shows take place on the same island of Oahu. So I'm like, well, how has there not been a crossover after 2 or 3 seasons with these shows on that they haven't bumped into each other? Well, this Friday, 2 episodes. It's going to start with Hawaii Five-0, then it's going to go into the Magnum PI episode with the crossover is finally happening, and that's very, very cool. Looking forward to that. Jon Favreau confirms that The Mandalorian Season 2 is coming fall 2020. No shocker there. We knew The Mandalorian was renewed by Disney+, and this is one of the biggest shows in the world. The Mandalorian actually just finished this past week on Disney+. The season finale aired, and boy, was it fantastic. It was such a great episode. Of course, it gave us Baby Yoda, which was the greatest thing of 2019. I'm still loving all the memes that keep dropping with his cute little face. I can't wait to see where Season 2 takes us. I was just reading an article earlier today, too, talking about all the people that are canceling Disney Plus now that The Mandalorian is over. Come on, people. It's only $6 a month. I think you can keep it. There's plenty of other content on there. But very happy to know, confirmed, that Season 2 is going to be coming later next year. Ryan Reynolds, something else we've been waiting to know if it's going to happen, is Deadpool. And Ryan Reynolds is saying that he's finally working on Deadpool 3 from Marvel Studios. So there you go. Finally confirmed that Deadpool 3 is moving forward under the Marvel Studios banner, with Ryan Reynolds still intact. So even though the X-Men universe and the Fantastic Universe have blown up from Fox, Ryan Reynolds still lives as Deadpool and will be joining the MCU. How it's going to play out, will it be rated R still? Is it going to be under 20th Century Fox? Is it going to be under Disney? We don't know what's going to happen. If it's rated R, it's definitely not happening under the Disney banner. But we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. It's just good to know that the movie is in pre-production and that they're starting to write a script and they're starting to put things together. So, love to hear that. Margot Robbie talks a little bit about Harley Quinn and the Joker breakup in Birds of Prey. So, pretty interesting article here, just kind of talking about that dynamic. Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor's score for The Woman in the Window is kaput. That's right. It is no longer a thing. They had composed the score for this movie, and then a bunch of reshoots happened, and now they say the score doesn't quite work. And Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross were like, yo, we already made you a score. We're not going to go back and redo it. So they're leaving the project. So it looks like a whole new score will be made for The Woman in the Window. Frozen 2's domestic box office has completely passed the original. So congratulations. It's always cool to see a sequel outperform the original movie. So glad to see that. Zachary Levi, of course, our Shazam, he is joined the new drama movie Prisoner 760. So glad to see him picking up some new projects there. Gal Gadot is producing a film adaptation of a banned Israeli novel called All the Rivers. So that'll be very interesting to see what that turns into for that project. A lot of people wondering with the Rise of Skywalker why Kelly Marie Tran's role is very, very minimal in this movie, especially after she was so big in The Last Jedi. We have an article up with the writer of the movie, one of the writers of the movie, talking about it. And basically, long story short, he talks about how they had filmed more scenes with her and Princess Leia But because they were using the Leia deleted footage from Force Awakens, they said the scenes just didn't quite work. So they were taken out of the movie, and unfortunately that was a lot of the extra scenes with Kelly Marie Tran. And then there was another scene with her and Rey that unfortunately got deleted. So they're saying they know it, and they're sorry that she's so in the movie so small, but that there was bigger aspirations. It just unfortunately did not work out. So take that for what you will. Let's see here. Uncut Gems, going back, just talking some box office news. Like I said, Uncut Gems starring Adam Sandler went nationwide on Christmas, and it placed number 7 at the box office with a 5-day gross of $18.18 million for an early domestic total of $20 million, which is like I said, one of the biggest box offices for A24. Tom Hooper's $100 million event picture Cats came in at number 8 with $8.8 million for the 5-day take of 17.9, and it bombed overseas with only $13 million. This movie looks like it's going to cost the studio $100 million in lost revenue. Ouch. Meow. That's what you get from making Cats. $100 million loss. That sucks. Congratulations to Little Women, though. Greta Gerwig's new movie, Little Women. That adaptation opened on Christmas Day as well and had a 5-day debut of $29 million, which was ahead of expectations. So there you go there. And like I said, after opening 20% behind The Last Jedi, Skywalker has already caught up with its predecessor as it's heading for the $1 billion mark, which will be an amazing end to Disney, which holds 7 or 8 movies out of the top 10 of the year. So insane right there. Kevin Feige, in an interview recently, stated that Scarlet Witch is the strongest Avenger in the MCU. Very interesting to hear, because I could have sworn last year he said Captain Marvel was the strongest character in the MCU, but now we're saying Scarlet Witch. I don't doubt it, though. Scarlet Witch is amazing, and if you saw Endgame, she about destroyed Thanos on her own, so that would have been very cool. Earlier today, it was announced that the Uncharted movie has lost its director once again. I believe this is the 6th time a director has been lost on the Uncharted film. That's right, Travis Knight, who directed Bumblebee, he had signed on to direct this movie, and everything was moving forward. It was looking good to go. But then Sony said, well, we need Tom Holland to film Spider-Man soon, and it was going to be right at the time they were making Uncharted, and it just didn't work out for scheduling issues. So because they were going to have to shift the production and shoot date for Uncharted, now Travis Knight is too busy and cannot do it anymore. So he leaves the project, and once again, for the 6th time, we are out of a director looking for a replacement. So too bad. That would have been actually a really cool pairing for Uncharted. I was looking forward to that. Kevin Feige is also teasing classic Marvel characters for Doctor Strange 2. I love the sound of this. Give me more. Classic Marvel characters, he says, that we have not seen before in the MCU. So I'm looking forward to seeing who will make their debut there. Oh, do you guys remember a little movie called The New Mutants? Well, it's a movie that I still don't believe is going to hit theaters, but they're telling me that it is, that it comes out in April, and that the new trailer will arrive next week. That's right, early in 2020, January, next week. It has officially been announced. One of the actors was talking about it, and now the director, Josh Boone, says, yes, it is true. We have the new trailer ready to rock. So, hey, I guess we are moving forward with this movie. He still claims it will hit theaters later this year. I am not holding my breath to that, but we will see what ends up happening. I am looking forward to seeing the new trailer, though. I hope it looks really, really good. Eddie Murphy hosted SNL last weekend, and it was fantastic. And it was already one of the highest rated episodes in the last couple years. Well, now that they've added in some DVR playback, his hosting, it hit an 11-year high for SNL. 11-year high, that's right. It's the best since Sarah Palin was on the show in 2008. So how fantastic is that? I love this episode. Eddie Murphy was so good in this episode. I think this was one of the first ones I've watched in a long time where I watched every single sketch. It was really, really good. So check it out if you haven't seen it, but glad to see it just killing. Congratulations to Mariah Carey, who has become the first artist ever to hit number 1 in 4 separate decades. Damn, congratulations. Congratulations. And lastly, I'm going to take a second here to talk about Netflix a little bit and their most viewed titles of 2019. So check this out. Netflix doesn't really talk about ratings or anything like that, right? They talk about some stuff sometimes, but they don't disclose too much. Well, this year they've actually put out a list of their top 10 for a couple different categories. So I'll run them down here real quick. Their top 10 most popular releases of 2019. Number 10 was The Highwaymen. Number 9 was The Umbrella Academy. Number 8 was Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. Number 7, Triple Frontier, which I loved. Number 6, The Witcher. Number 5 was The Irishman. Number 4, Incredibles 2. Number 3 was Six Underground. Whoop, whoop. Number 2 was Stranger Things Season 3. And number 1 is the Adam Sandler movie, Murder Mystery. That's right, the Murder Mystery movie he did with Jennifer Aniston earlier this year was the number 1 most popular release of all of Netflix in 2019. So very, very cool. Now let's break it down a little bit more. So the top 10 most popular TV series, okay? So these are the series that Netflix does. Coming in number 10, it's Raising Dion. Hey, I talked about that show earlier tonight. I love it, so glad to see it crack the top 10. Number 9 is 13 Reasons Why. Number 8, Sex Education. Number 7, Unbelievable, which I just started Unbelievable as well. Watched the first 2 episodes. Pretty intriguing. Number 6 is When They See Us. That's still on my queue. Definitely looking forward to that. Number 5 is You, Season 2, which just dropped a couple days ago, and it's already the number 5 on this list. Number 4 is Dead to Me. Number 3 is The Umbrella Academy. Number 2 is The Witcher. And number 1 is Stranger Things Season 3. So, the good thing is I pretty much want to watch all these shows. I think they're all on my queue. I've seen about half of them. And then the other ones are definitely on my queue. So, very cool there. Now, here's the top 10 as far as movies go. Number 10 was Secret Obsession. Number 9 is Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. Number 8 was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Number 7 was The Highwaymen. Number 6 was Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. Number 5 was Triple Frontier. Number 4 is The Irishman. Number 3 is Incredibles 2. Number 2 is Six Underground. And number 1 is Murder Mystery. How the hell did Murder Mystery beat Six Underground? Come on, man. Six Underground's so damn good. I'm glad it was at least number 6. Oh, boy. So here's the top 10 most popular non-fiction releases of 2019. Number 10 was Sugar Rush Season 2. Number 9 was Prank Encounters. Number 8 was Sugar Rush Christmas. Number 7, Awake, the $1 Million Game. Number 6 was Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Number 5 was Nailed It Season 3. Number 4 was You versus Wild. Number 3 was Rhythm and Flow. Number 2 was Jailbirds. And number 1 was Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. Number 10, most popular documentary series of 2019. Number 10 is Kevin Hart's new one that literally just dropped a couple days ago as well. Have it on my queue. Don't fuck this up. Number 9 is Street Food Volume 1, Asia. Number 8's The Family. Number 7's The Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Number 6 is Abducted in Plain Sight. Number 5 is one I just talked about earlier. That's Don't Fuck with Cats, Hunting the Internet Killer. Number 4 is Homecoming. Number 3 is Fire, The Greatest Party That Never Happened. Number 2 is Our Planet. And number 1 is Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes. Number 10, these are the top 10 for comedy releases. And Netflix loves their comedy, and I do too. So these are really good ones. Number 10 is Mike Epps with Only One Mike. Number 9 is Wanda Sykes with Not Normal. Number 8 is Jeff Dunham with Beside Himself. Number 7 is Aziz Ansari with Right Now. Number 6, Bill Burr with Paper Tiger. Number 5, Amy Schumer with Growing. Number 4, Ken Jeong with You Complete Me Ho. Number 3, Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias with One Show Fits All. Number 2, Kevin Hart, Irresponsible. And number 1, Dave Chappelle with Sticks and Stones. No shocker there. The Dave Chappelle one is great. Let's see here. And then lastly, top 10 most popular kids and family series of 2019. Number 10, Mighty Little Beam. Number 9, Family Reunion. Number 8, Fuller House Season 5. Number 7, Nailed It Season 3. Number 6, You vs. Wild. Number 5, Victorious. Number 4, The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Number 3, Lost in Space Season 2, which, by the way, I just started watching because I loved Season 1 of Lost in Space. I've only gotten through the first episode of Season 2 so far, but I'm so glad this show's back. Number 2 is Green Eggs and Ham. And number 1 is my new hot show, Raising Dion, coming in number 1 right there. Love it. So there's some top 10 stuff coming out from Netflix to let you know how 2019 is wrapping up. And that wraps up our news of the week. So thank you so much for listening through that. And we actually made it right out to our 30-minute mark like I love to do. Speaking of how things play out, I am still looking to do some very special Am I Still on the Airs in January. I'm going to be getting my boys Friggins and Peeps, and we'll get together and we're going to start breaking some stuff down. We, number 1, want to do the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker spoiler review. Yes, we still plan to do it, so hang tight. Number 2, we need to do our top 10 movies of 2019 and most anticipated of 2020. So that's going to be very interesting. I got to start getting my list together. Got to start working on that. But yes, plan on those coming in January 2020. All right, coming very, very soon next year. Just to let you know, in case you're wondering. So, what else we got going on? Nothing comes out this week on Blu-ray and DVD. It's a very quiet week. In theaters this Friday is the new Grudge reboot. So, I don't know what we're going to see this Friday. I'm thinking we might actually go check out Richard Jewell. I am looking forward to seeing that. I want to see how that story plays out. So, might check that out on Friday since nothing else is really coming out. So, speaking of that, let's talk box office, all right? This is fresh from the weekend. Number 10, speaking of Richard Jewell, $3 million. Number 9 is Bombshell with 4.7. I do want to watch Bombshell as well, but that's something I know my wife wants to see as well, so I got to find a time that we can get away. But yes, Bombshell 4.7 at number 9. Number 8 is Cats with 4.83. Number 7 is Uncut Gems with 9.6. Number 6 is Knives Out with 9.7. Number 5 is Spies in Disguise with 13.2. Number 4 is Frozen 2 with 16.5. Number 3 is Little Women with 16.5. Number 2 is Jumanji, The Next Level. Killing it right now. This movie's crossed, I think, the $400 or $500 mark. $400 or $500 million mark. Just another big hit for Sony. Jumanji, The Next Level, bringing in another $35.3 million. And number 1 for the second week in a row, it's Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, bringing in a nice $72 million here in the States and another 94.3 internationally. So there you go, my friends. That is the news. That is the box office. That is the latest and greatest. And that is the last show of 2019, baby. That's right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for spending these last waking hours with me in 2019 on this December the 30th. Broadcasting live from the Red Dragons Radio Studios here in Tucson, Arizona, where it is freezing right now, man. God, it's so cold. And I don't get cold, but it is cold right now. Hey, so let's do some shout-outs real quick. AmIOnTheAir.com. That's our official webpage. It's where it all starts right there. Social media. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/AmIOnTheAir. Follow on Twitter at AmIOnTheAir. Follow me directly on Twitter at DXDonMega. Make sure you download the Stardust app. If you're on Stardust, follow me at DonMega, DonMega, and I will follow you back. Stardust is a great app that shows 30-second mini reviews. That's it. 30-second reviews. They're in video form on movies, TV shows, trailers. It's so great. You're going to love it. You listen to this show, you're going to love Stardust. So download it, follow me, I'll follow you back, and get all my reviews right away. You don't have to wait for the new podcast. Watch it drop on Stardust. Of course, you can download us and rate and subscribe and everything on Apple Podcast. So please do that. Leave a 5-star rating. I would love it. If Apple Podcast ain't your thing, don't you worry. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play Podcast. We're all over the interwebs, baby. Of course, we're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Just look up Am I on the Air? And you should find us no problem. And of course, our great affiliates at reddragonsradio.com. That's reddragonsradio.com. Follow on Twitter at Red Dragons Radio. It's a great website that hosts a bunch of different podcasts, including yours truly. So, shout out, much love. And that's it. That is it. I'm closing the laptop. I'm closing the book on 2019. Let's put it to bed, and let's have an amazing 2020. I hope you all have a very happy and safe New Year's. And until next year, y'all, peace.
Bye, everybody. Red Dragons! Red Dragons!